What is going on? I'm ZMOT. Rough sledding yesterday, but we are back, baby. Now, we got code ZMOT in that shop. That is going to increase your warship speeds by at least 4%. Now, my warship is back in 24. There was a huge learning curve yesterday. Had to go through the paces. We've got a lot of tools. So we got the deployable turret, we've got rocket Choppas, we've got Rudy, we've got shocks, we've got artillery, we've got barrage, we've got remote hack, we've got remote defib, we've got lots of things. Now, if you want to win currently, here's my take. You need to defib at least one engine room. Just defib. And if you use defib poorly, like I do in this attack, things are going to go very, very badly for you. You need to be 240 or faster, generally speaking. And here's the problem. You throw defib back there and you're going to get those back two engine rooms and you're feeling good about things. And you've got defib on this engine room and defib on those two back there. And then you throw a flare and all of your defibs run away from the engine rooms. So you have to really line your troops up in the right sort of direction. You've got to kind of plan, okay, well, I want to clear this outside engine room first so they go inwards, and then I can defib back there and have all this stuff go that way. And then what ends up happening is your troops go that way and you sit there just frustrated beyond belief. So here's my take. Like I said, you need to get at least one engine room using defib. Now, you might be looking back here and going, well, they've got two microwavers. You don't need to get that one. Just get this one. Or get rid of the shock launcher and get these two. Or, like, you just need to get something going with the remote defib. And I've seen too many people, they're using defib to keep their troops alive. No, you got to stop that. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe you've got heavy Choppas, but for me to win with rifles and rocket Choppas and Rudy, it has to be at least one engine room. And I'll show you here. Quick note, that critter launcher that's right there, you can throw a remote hack on that, whether it's a boom cannon. I've done that a bunch. They've got a shock launcher just sticking out by the very edge. You can get it, so don't forget about those details. Look for poorly placed. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to talk about that quickly because this is something that's come up a lot lately. So this shield out here, this line, that's not the sky shield. That's just visual. This is the line right here. Hopefully you guys all know that, but I've told a couple people that lately. I've drawn it. I've like filled this in on Twitter just to say, like, this is not actually covered by a sky shield. Just so you guys know, I hope you guys all know that, but if one person learned something there, that's nice as well. So we're going to keep going. This one, we're just going to run through it. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice that there's 7 boats dropped. Getting a late boat to get underneath this stuff is super helpful as well. It helps nullify that shock blaster, so do consider holding back a boat of rifles or heavy Choppas, whatever the heck it might be. I didn't hold it back quite enough. You see that Rudy comes underneath and gets hit by that shock blaster, and he starts to consider dying, and so we need to use our defib on that bottom left. We've got defib on that back right as well, using our shock on the flamethrower. I'm trying to use my shocks only to get my defib going, and it's working pretty darn well. You see we've got defib on the front and the back, and our rocket Choppas have a decent spread. So we're actually attacking like 5 engine rooms at once right now, which is a lot of things going on. And then just using all of our barrage to get rid of that back sky shield so that we can throw, hopefully, a kamikaze flare, but it really depends. Like I said, you can't flare away too early, so we're just waiting and hoping that we can get onto that back engine room with even more defib troops. I am finding that I'm using defib, like with the remote hack, don't use it more than once or twice. That's it. If you use it more than that, you're probably overusing it, or you're attacking completely differently than me. If you want to attack anything similarly to me, which has worked pretty well, just twice at most. And trying to do it in a reasonable time. And then on that right-hand side, I'm finding that throwing a turret, I'm almost certain I'm going to... There's my turret right there. So this way we get a decent spread. They don't have a shock blaster down here. They've only got a doom cannon, so we don't have to worry too much. And then just going. Sending Rudy early does work out fairly well at times. Using that remote hack to get rid of that hot pot at the back. And that is because A, I want to get Rudy and some guys down here, and B, I want to plan to get back there. So we throw the shock, we get the defib. Defib does travel slower than shock, so you can throw it a little bit early. And then just clearing with all of our guys. Yes, it is a little bit of madness. We cannot throw a flare though, because we've got rifles here, we've got rifles there, and those rifles are absolutely crushing that back right-hand corner. And now just trying to get that back done. That defib was not well timed. And then just Rudy clearing through the sky shields, getting extra barrages out, and trying to get onto that final engine room as fast as we possibly can. No GBE left for flares there, sadly, but still picking up a half decent time. What was that? That was a 249, and then 247 against Cobra Bomber. I think I went like 2-2 against Cobra Bomber yesterday. A couple players kept popping up in my log, and he or she was one of them. So 247, and it takes a while to get this stuff going. So I am going to show you some hits live. Now, that turret was not necessarily required quite yet because of that mortar will hold our rocket Choppas off, but sending 2 boats to the left and getting rid of that doom cannon. Doom cannon is also helping distract that boom cannon, and then trying to find a way to get that back right section. Like that back right and that front left are the crux of these hits, and you either send Rudy late, or you use your defib, or you use a combination of both. So I wanted all my rifles going left, center, and Rudy going back right, and you have to be super careful about those back cannons and the back boom cannon, and then just Rudy walking through as we keep defibbing this front engine room and keeping that boom cannon shocked to try to keep Rudy and our rocket Choppas alive. And we're going to take down between 1 and 2 engine rooms using just defib, which is going to set us up for huge successes as our troops keep moving with no flare. And then finally getting rid of that back sky shield so that we can hopefully at some point flare it, but it doesn't look like that's actually going to happen. So using my GBE a little bit poorly there. Had I have thrown my GBE on that back engine room, it probably would have been 5 seconds faster. So lots and lots of balls in the air, if you've heard that expression before. I quit last night when I got back to 24. I have this weird thing where I want to come to you guys in a higher rank. I probably could have pushed a little bit higher, but it would have been win-loss and I might have fallen out. Then I got to come back to you guys in 23 with my tail between my legs, and still sitting on the global top 300, falling down slowly. It feels like you're going to have to be in 25 at least to be on that top 500 if that's something you care about. Now, we're going to do a couple live hits. I can't make promises. This is my first attack. Excuses in 12 hours. So we're going to be a bit rusty, but we shall see how it goes. The beautiful thing about this time of year is 8 engine rooms means it's 1 attack to claim a chest. That's really nice. Not having to do 4 attacks to get 2 chests, or 5 attacks, or even 3 attacks. Just 1 attack per chest is pretty nice, but it is a bit of a luxury. I'm kind of glad that it's not here all the time. And we are going to send... What do they got here? We're going to send... I can shock that hot pot. Couple machine guns back there. We're going to send Rudy to the left, I think. Just because we can. And again, same deal. 1 boat here. Oops, I clicked a mine. That wasn't so good. 1 boat in the middle there. 1 boat in the middle there. And then just all of you guys. We're going to send all of you guys on this right-hand side, just holding, and need to figure out what the heck we're gonna do. I think we need to throw a turret back in that neighborhood, and then Rudy can start to go towards that left by dropping him low and in charge. And then we are gonna get something like this back here with a shock on that hot pot, hopefully, and I missed the shock, so that was super duper great. We're gonna get a remote hack there. Rudy still going left, lots and lots of good things there. Got a decent split though, so now we can start to focus all of our GBE on this back engine room. We've got rifles every which way, just need to keep our troops moving. And now Rudy doing good things. Need to get this engine room down. Come on, let's go, dudes. Getting more barrages on that back left, and just failing to get a decent amount of speed. 246. Again, not managing my GBE super duper great, but we got to win by 2 seconds, and we get that win streak moving us upwards. Realistically, probably should have been more like 250 on that, and just making mistakes. Not realizing which side to throw our GBE on. It's a huge difference, but I mean, just keeping it simple, sending Rudy for an engine room, either this one or the back one. And I can't stress that enough. I know I've talked about defib and hack and lots of things, but as long as you can get these engine rooms down, everything else is just going to flow. Like, you don't have to worry about that. And I'm not using flares often, and if I have to use a flare, I'm flaring a defense. That way the flare cuts off super early, because I'm pretty sure that everyone has at least tick 4 flares, and that is 20 seconds, and 20 seconds is a huge duration as you watch your pink rifles walk in the wrong direction. So we are going to do one more. Hopefully there's some nuggets here that you're like, oh, never thought of that. You never know, though. So last hit of the video, it's Christmas. Things are crazy. I might have to leave here in a second to pick up one of my kids who's sick, went to school to do his test with his teacher. I think he's doing it like in isolation, but he's sick and he wanted to do his test, and then he's coming home sick so he can go to bed. Then he's got to do his paper route in the pouring torrential cold rain. It is not good weather on the west coast of Canada. Windstorms like every other. It seems like windstorms are the new thing. I don't know. Regardless, we've delved into weather. Front left looks reasonable. Couple engine rooms down there. That back left looks like it's going to be the difficult part of this attack. Can we see? Remember how I said things were going to flow? That back left, nothing is going to flow towards that back left. So we need to be a little bit extra careful. Now, this back here, this is prime defib territory. We can shock the microwaver and both of those machine guns without any difficulty. So we're going to go something like this. Let's go. We're going to go you guys over there and you about there, and then something like this, and then we're going to throw this in this neighborhood, because I know for a fact that that shock launcher is going to cause us nothing but pain. Going to get rid of that back microwaver just because it's got a bunch of health. That is the primary reason for that. Just the sheer numbers of health on that thing. We're going to throw a shock about there, and now that that is almost done, let's get a barrage back there, and a defib there, and a shock there, and a defib there. Just getting all of our stuff towards this back right, and now Rudy went the wrong direction, like in a big way. So we are in a world of pain back here. Need to get that over there. Rudy has turned in the right direction finally, and now we can start getting down here. Need one more of those things. Rudy coming in hot. All sorts of defib rifles coming in hot back here as well, and just need desperately Rudy to turn in the right direction. There we go. Finally Rudy going in the right direction. We need all of our barrage all of our GBE down here, and we are going to get 244. Again, little bit of a wonky hit where I made a bunch of mistakes, and we're going to pick up another win. So 9-second win, 2 wins in a row. There's so much going on, and you have to be so fast. And I told you guys, hey, you need to worry about this engine room and this engine room, and then the next base comes up and all of a sudden you got to worry about back there. So there's no one universal truth, sadly. But on the plus side, there's many ways to win, and honestly, the easiest way that all of my opponents seem to be winning is using those heavy Choppas. It's like 3 boats heavy Choppas or 2 boats heavy Choppas and Rudy going one way, and you end up... Let's see if I can find one of those hits, actually. Let's just... So here you go. This person does not have Rudy. They've got heavy Choppas. So if that is your tech, maybe you went heavy Choppas instead of Rudy, that is exactly what they're doing. Just dropping 1 boat heavy Choppa on either cannon and then just walking through the base. And you can see right about now, if they had Rudy, they could drop Rudy back right-hand corner and he'd walk up that back right, and they would have been even faster. And then keeping that 1 boat of rocket Choppas, dropping it late, getting some good value out of that, and then just, honestly, walking through the base. Like, there are no flares yet again, and just walking through. They do bring out some flares towards the end, I think, throwing all sorts of GBE back there, and now they should have been flaring. Like, they should have been flaring long ago, and instead they threw barrage, and I think I made that mistake a couple times as well. So hopefully this video helps you figure out what the heck you want to unlock. I know I have more tech than lots of you. Maybe that makes you want to go get the heavy Choppas. Maybe Rudy helps, but Defib is better than hack, I think. Again, would love to hear your thoughts. That final prototype, this is the last unlock that I had back here, and now I suppose I could go get some more stuff. Like, we can go get 1 sniper tower. Nope. 2 sniper towers. Yes, that is where I'm leaning. Heavy Choppas. I know heavy Choppas. A bunch of you are saying, Zed, you just lost to heavy Choppas. You're saying they're fast. Well, I don't want to give up anything, so I'm just at that moment where I think I'm going to get the 2 sniper towers, and then maybe I'll look at, you know what, I'm just going to do it. We're just going to get the 2 sniper towers. I'll think about heavy Choppas for later, but for right now, 2 sniper towers going to slow our opponents maybe even 1 second. That is all for me, though. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic Christmas holiday season. I forgot to keep my engraver going, so we're going to do that. Might as well throw some red on there. We've got 3 engravings going. I've also forgotten to use my sculptor, so keep all of those little details moving. I know it can be a giant pain. Submarine is actually diving, so at least there's that. I shall talk to you soon. Like, share, subscribe. More importantly, comment. Let me know what you think about the attacks, how you're doing them differently, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in.